Aloha, everyone. Jody Mountain here with Lineage of Light and more of the Ancient Wisdom series. So, in general, even though we tend to perceive ourselves as separate beings and other people being separate and the plant and animal kingdom being separate, and just there's a lot of navigating and negotiating in this world where it kind of ends up sometimes being us and them, or me against the rest of the world, or my ideas against these ideas. And the indigenous mind perspective is that not only is everything alive with this life force that we spoke about yesterday, but we're in relationship with everything. We're actually in one of the most intimate relationships we can be in, which is family. So I want to say every indigenous culture that I know of, there is this deep kind of communion, more than connection, it's a communion with all of nature and with everything around them, including really other humans I grew up in Jamaica, and everybody that came into my world was every female older woman was auntie, and every man that came to visit the house was uncle. And so you find the same thing, even though they weren't necessarily blood relatives. So you'll find the same thing in all kinds of indigenous cultures, is that everybody is my auntie and everybody is my uncle, because there is this understanding that we're all related in some way. So in this familial relationship, when we can start to see that this is just a different aspect of my family, we can start to navigate a little bit differently. We can also apply this idea of connection and family to the inside of our system, so that when we feel different aspects of ourselves, perhaps even fighting with each other or struggling with each other, or different emotions arising that may be difficult or even joyful, we can recognize these as a member of our family, and we can start to bring the family together. And I think that's probably the main difference between the Western kind of Judeo-Christian upbringing and the indigenous mind, is that the separation of what is good and what is bad, and what is right and what is wrong, what I should be, what I shouldn't be, what's allowed in my awareness, what's not allowed, and therefore that extends to what other people should and shouldn't be doing, what's allowed in other people's behavior. And so it becomes a bit problematic because, of course, we can't control anybody else, and we can't really lay down the law for anybody else. But we can come into this harmony inside when we recognize an indigenous mind that there isn't this idea of foundational separation, that there is an idea of foundational inclusion, that everyone is welcome, and that all parts of me are welcome in this family, in my inner family. And hopefully that translates into everyone is welcome in my outer family. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't keep ourselves safe. You know, if someone's running towards me with a knife, I'm not going to say welcome. I'm going to run away or protect myself or do what I need to do. But it doesn't mean that I need to walk around in this defensive protection mode because everything is a threat at the same time. So when it's time to take care in a certain way, we do that. And in general, I'd say the shift in being able to perceive the inside and the outside as a member of my family is very helpful in day-to-day life. So see how that digests in your system. And I'll see you next time. Aloha.